From their in-place positions on these ridges, the German artillery and machine guns decimated the advancing French forces. The French plan to attack into Germany died here in these fields. The French were massacred. With the French armies on the frontiers in full retreat, the focus of the war now shifted to the Belgian border. The German army was rapidly approaching and seemed unstoppable.
Quite quickly the Germans were galloping into open space. Joffre was brought to recognize that the real danger was not, as he thought, down in Alsace-Lorraine, but was north of Paris.
While Joffre was considering this dilemma, the British had already landed a force of 80,000 men in France under the command of Sir John French. They headed across northern France into Belgium to the town of Mons, where they blundered into a huge, advancing German army. As night fell here at Mons, the soldiers of the BF felt they'd acquitted themselves well. They'd stopped the whole right wing of the Schlieffen Plan dead in its tracks. But the BF was outflanked. Sullenly the soldiers began a retreat. A long retreat that would take them 13 days, night and day, and 200 miles to the south, to the River Marne. The German advance in the north seemed unstoppable. The Schlieffen Plan was still going to schedule. But in the south, the French had retreated to their fortified positions along the Franco-German border. Thousands of soldiers that von Schlieffen had hoped to trap inside Germany were now safely back on French soil. But Ruprecht and von Kraft scented victory. Again they applied pressure on von Moltke, who again gave way, giving them permission to chase the retreating French. Of all the decisions von Moltke took in 1914, this was to prove the most disastrous of all. Certainly, it proved fatal for the Schlieffen Plan. The key principle behind German military thinking for a generation was to avoid attacking the French in their fortified positions. But von Moltke had given permission for his generals to do exactly that. It was a suicidal attack. From their defensive positions on these steep ridges overlooking the town of Nancy, the French had unparalleled fields of fire into the open valleys below. This time, as the Germans came on, it was the French turn to cut them down in huge numbers. No one knows exactly how many men died on this spot. The Germans never admitted their casualties, but best estimates put it at 1/3 of a million. With the German army on the frontiers halted, Joffre turned his attention to the north. He now had to improvise a new plan to stop the German advance on Paris.
It permitted Joffre to leave a weaker defensive force there while he transferred troops westwards towards Paris to take part in what was going to be the critical battle of the whole campaign, the Battle of the Marne.
The French railway system now gave Joffre a critical advantage. Unlike the Germans, who had to march hundreds of miles to the south to reach the critical battlefields, Joffre could redeploy his troops to the north in just a few days by using the trains. Von Schlieffen had always warned that the German army would need to have won the decisive battle against the French within 40 days of the beginning of the plan. In the north, his schedule was still working perfectly. And on day 35 of the plan, the first encounter of that battle took place along the River Marne, east of Paris. It was the Battle of the Marne that finally halted the German juggernaut that had steamrolled its way through Belgium and France in the previous 5 weeks. The troops that Joffre had rushed so hastily to Paris became the new French Sixth Army. This was the force that finally counterattacked out of Paris and drove the Germans back. The French dubbed this the Miracle of the Marne. It saved France, and it marked the collapse of von Schlieffen's great plan. But it also doomed anyone's hopes of a short war. In the immediate aftermath of the Marne, von Moltke made his final, fateful misjudgment. He decided to retreat north and ordered his troops to take up a defensive position on the River Aisne, where they began to dig hasty defences. The horrors of trench warfare had begun. But what if von Moltke had not made his fatal errors? What if Ruprecht and Kraft had been forced to stick to the principles of the Schlieffen Plan? With the French army trapped on the German frontier, the Sixth Army, the one that turned the Battle of the Marne, could never have been formed, and the most decisive battle of 1914 would have been transformed from a French miracle into a German triumph.